Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be looking at the ancient Greece geography notes. We're going to do part 1 today, and then you'll do part 2 on Wednesday. I'm going to split this up into 2 different videos. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, so pay attention as I go over the ancient Greece geography notes. All right, here we go. All right, so it says, physically, Greece is a land of rough mountains, narrow valleys, and navigable rivers, which means that they are able to travel. They are not able to travel the rivers very well at all. They were very narrow. They were very hard to get through. It says, however, it has a long coastline with many inlets and bays. So this is where they were able to get their trade and their travel from, was from the bays and not so much from the rivers. The combination of physical features had several effects on Greek characters and history. We're going to talk about that as we go through this. The Aegean Sea and the neighboring Ionian and Black Seas united the Greek people. The watery ways, as the Greek poet Homer called them, were the links between most parts of Greece. So this is where they were able to trade. This is where their military was able to move. This is where societies were starting to be built in ancient Greece. Sea travel was also a link with other societies. Even in small ships and without compasses, Greek sailors could go from one island to another to reach the older, rich civilizations of Asia and Egypt. This is the Silk Road, guys. This is where they were able to travel through these seas, and this is where they were able to trade with civilizations such as China and Egypt. Sea travel and trade were important because Greece itself was poor in resources. So Greece did not have a lot of resources. They depended on resources from other places to be able to grow their civilization. It says about 3/4 of Greece is covered with mountains, the highest of which is Mount Olympus, the towering snow-capped home of the gods. And there is a picture of Mount Olympus. It is not the size of Mount Everest, but it is very, very large and very similar to some of the things that we talked about with Mount Everest in class. Rugged terrain made transportation very difficult. For example, the city of Sparta was only about 60 miles from Olympia. To kind of put that in perspective for you, that is about the distance from Radcliffe to Louisville, maybe just a little bit longer. But it says Olympia was the site of the Olympic Games, yet it took Spartans nearly a week to travel that distance. So because the terrain was so bad, because there were so many mountains, and because it was so hard to travel through, it took them nearly a week to be able to travel that far. I mean, it was a very, very, very hard trip. Okay, it says the mountains significantly influenced Greek political life. It was very difficult to unite the country under one government. We're going to talk more about their government next week, and some of the videos that I'll post on that. There's going to be some of the things that we're going to talk about with their government, but you're going to understand that a little bit more. But it says, therefore, the Greeks were content to live in a collection of small independent communities. And if you look at that map on the last slide, you can see some of those small independent communities. Those are some of the places that are going to grow. And some of those places are still there. For example, Athens is still part of Greece. That is still a city in Greece today. But we're going to talk about some of those places. You're going to read about some of those places, and that's going to be some of the assignments that you all are going to be working on. All right, that is part 1 of the geography notes. I will post part 2 on Wednesday, and you'll be able to see that, and we'll go through the rest of this week. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you have any concerns, if you need help with anything, please comment on Google Classroom. Please send me an email. I'll be more than happy to help you out. If you need anything, let me know. Have a good day, guys. Bye.